Hi everyone, my name is Mariko and I'm a multimodal therapist and intuitive. And in this video, I'm going to share 4 powerful questions to ask yourself for self-mastery. And what I mean by self-mastery is answering these questions is going to give you a deeper insight into who you are, how you're currently operating, and ways to better manage your own energy levels so that you can feel more confident and secure and at peace with yourself and within your own life. So, without further ado, let's dive straight in. Question number 1. How can I better cultivate and maintain energy for myself? So this question of energy is such an important one. And it keeps coming up in my sessions where I connect with the higher selves of my clients. And of course, this is something that we are not taught about in schools. And yet, the oldest systems of medicine in the world, whether that is traditional Chinese medicine or Ayurveda or even the ancient Greeks, they all acknowledged the importance of energy, our energy field, and had practices to cultivate and optimize our own energy levels better. So to answer this question, I simply want you to ask yourself, what energizes me and what depletes me? So this is simple. You can just notice what gives you more energy, what energizes you, and what seems to take away your energy, what leaves you feeling more tired and drained. So we can look at a few different areas of life here. So number 1, food. What foods give you energy, leave you feeling sprightly, and what foods seem to make you tired and dull? Or you can take a look at people. Who in your life really gives you energy? Just talking to them, seeing them, it could even be thinking about them gives you energy. And what people really seem to deplete your energy? And you might notice sort of a before and after certain conversations that you have with this person or interactions. Now, this isn't to say you need to cut ties with people who deplete your energy, but simply just to notice who seems to give you energy consistently, who seems to deplete your energy. And there's nothing you need to necessarily do with this information, but just notice it. What other things in your life that you engage with deplete or energize you? For example, it could be social media. It could be the news. It could be films, TV shows. Which of these leave you feeling more energized and empowered, or leave you feeling more demoralized and tired and negative? And it's really important to take note of this because we have become creatures that consume things mindlessly, unconsciously, every day. In fact, I know so many people who cannot pass 5 minutes alone in silence. They need to be on their phone or on an app or listening to something, a podcast or audiobook or whatever. It's become quite an unconscious thing to just fill our senses up, our ears and our eyes, with content. So this is about really becoming more mindful and conscious of what you're consuming. What activities energize you or deplete your energy? It could be certain sports, for example. It could be hobbies that you have, pottery making or painting really energize you. And of course, there are specific practices that are designed to help you to harness energy from your environment and thereby replenish your own energy stores. Certain movement practices like yoga or qigong, the ancient Chinese movement meditation. And I practice qigong movements every day, first thing in the morning, to really replenish my own energy stores. So before I do anything, before I give to anyone else, I first make sure to replenish my own energy levels. Tapping, EFT tapping, another thing that I practice in almost daily, is also something that works on the energy levels of the body. So it really helps to, again, energize you and clear and release any blocked energy. And this is why I have lots of tapping videos on my page, or this is why I regularly share Qigong movements and postures on my Patreon page, so that you can also learn how to replenish and cultivate and maintain your own energy levels. I'll leave a link below if you're interested in checking out my Patreon page for that kind of content. Question number 2. In what ways can I spend more time alone in stillness? Now, this is also something that comes up a lot in my sessions connecting with the higher selves of my clients, because it's in stillness that we can really start to gain more access to our intuition and where our own higher guidance starts to seep through. And our worlds are becoming more and more distracted and distracting and noisy and loud, and we are naturally becoming less able to feel comfortable in stillness. And yet, it's in stillness that we can connect with our innermost selves and our innermost truths. So every single culture around the world, especially sort of religion or spiritual practice, always has as an important pillar of their approach, their method, time alone in stillness. And this isn't a coincidence. It's because the greatest insights, the greatest wisdom comes through in moments of stillness. So it's really an act of rebellion and revolution to be able to be still in an increasingly loud and distracting world where every app is vying for your attention. So what can you do? In what ways can you cultivate more stillness in your life? Could it be that you take daily walks in nature? Because nature already has a beautiful way, just by its sheer vibration, to calm us down, to center us, to ground us. Could it be that you begin and maintain a meditation practice, a daily meditation practice? And it doesn't have to be long. It could literally be that every 2 hours you set a timer for 60 seconds, where in those 60 seconds you're still with yourself. And this was a beautiful piece of guidance that came through on one of my sessions with my client's higher self. It was for her to set a timer every 2 hours for 60 seconds. Question number 3. How can I better manage my own negative thoughts and emotions? Now, this is a really important question. And in short, this is the key to world peace. Because if each individual could take self-responsibility and manage their own destructive thoughts and emotions, then we would be less reactive, less judgmental, less divisive, less combative, and less separate from one another. Because it's when we learn how to manage ourselves, our emotions, that we understand how much of our own personal made-up stories we are projecting out onto others when we are emotional, when we are triggered, when we are unhinged. So, in what ways can you manage your own emotions and negative thoughts? Now, this could be a practice. Again, meditation helps to do this. Meditation has been shown to increase the size of the prefrontal cortex. And interestingly, emotional freedom techniques or tapping also does the same thing. And so I practice tapping daily, or whenever I'm triggered emotionally, I will tap on myself. And this is why I'm so passionate about it, because it's such a quick and effective way of neutralizing any destructive or destabilizing thought or emotion. So check out my tapping videos if you haven't already, because they work if you use them. Or could it be that when you're feeling triggered, you exercise, you go for a run, you let it out? Could it be that you start therapy this year? Maybe it's that you call a really wise and supportive friend when you're unbalanced emotionally. Or maybe it's that you journal and spend time with yourself and journal and really let out all of those thoughts that are in your mind. Question number 4. In what ways can I be more loving to myself? This is a really important question because it actually gets you to take stock of the reality of how you're treating yourself. Not how you wish you were treating yourself or how you would treat yourself next year. It's how are you actually treating yourself now? When are you impatient or frustrated with yourself? When are you overly judgmental or overly critical of yourself? And when might you be neglecting yourself? I want you to imagine that you are your own child. If you were your own child, so you were your own child, but you were also the mother, would you say that you're treating yourself in a way that's helping that child to grow up healthy, happy, and confident in themselves? Feeling safe in the world and capable? What might you need to do differently to better help that child to grow up into a really beautiful, happy, and healthy individual? If at this point you had the thought that I'm a terrible person, I'm a terrible mother or father, again, it's important for you not to be overly judgmental or critical of yourself, but instead use it as a lesson, a learning, and just change your ways a little bit if necessary. So answering this question may sound like, well, if I truly love myself, I would probably go out less and go to bed earlier because my body really needs that rest. Or if I truly love myself, well, I would cut out sugar and alcohol because I realized it doesn't make me feel good. Or I would call that friend up and tell her I miss her and that I want to hang out. Or I'm going to stop with my self-deprecating self-talk, like always saying, I'm such an idiot. Or the answer to this question might sound like, I'm going to speak up more proudly about my skills and about what I do instead of being shy and humble in the corner, because my gifts are here to be shared with the world, so I should honor them. So how can you be more loving to yourself? In what ways? I hope these questions have given you a little bit of food for thought, and perhaps you feel inspired to journal on these questions and make a little bit of a plan of action of how you can actually integrate some of these answers that you've found in yourself to these questions. As always, if you found this video helpful at all, please do like and subscribe and maybe even share it with a friend because it really helps with the algorithms. So thank you so much. I'm wishing you a beautiful 2025.